Okay, but now I want your calls on this. Would you ever clone a pet? 0207 862 2222 is the number to give us a ring. A lab in the UK is offering pet owners the chance to collect their animal's DNA after they die so they can create a genetic replica. It has to then be sent to the USA to be done, and the final bill can come in at about £40,000 for a cat or a dog. I think sometimes more than that. But if money was no object, would you do it? Is it something that dog owner Rubathon, Tom Rubathon, did. This lab wasn't around when he cloned his beloved Cocker Spaniels there. Daisy, he had to fly to a scientist over from South Korea to do it. He now has 2 8-year-old dogs genetically identical to Daisy, so he ended up with 2 dogs. I think we can take a look.
If you have dogs, you love them, but when you get the special one, that's why you do it, I suppose. They don't replace the dog, but they're just the same sort of dog that you like. So you have the same relationship with them, really.
Okay, let's have a quick look at one of his new dogs, and Daisy. So this is the original dog and its clone. There we go. Oh, I see. Okay, so one's just a picture in the frame in the back and one's the new dog. Well, they do look very similar, don't they, Albie?
I think this is a wonderful idea. And, you know, it's something that I suggested to my sister sometime. It was kind of a joke. I didn't actually realise you could do it.
You want to clone your sister? We're talking about pets here.
No. I've already got 2 sisters. I don't need a third sister. But we do have a cat, very beloved, Bluebell. I think she's a perfect cat. We've got a picture of her.
Oh, she is gorgeous.
There, that's her. I'm in my dressing gown. Everyone's seen that now on television. That's also her. That's Bluebell. So she's just wonderful. And I said to my sister, Adjua, if we could get Bluebell cloned, would you want to get her cloned? Because she is just a perfect cat. And she was like, oh no, that's so wrong. It just feels so like the wrong thing to do when she dies. We should just bury her in the garden and just be done with it. And I thought, but we might never have a cat like Bluebell again. So I think if money was no object, I would absolutely clone my perfect cat, Bluebell. But
you're cloning the physicalities of the animal. You're not necessarily cloning the personality. And I imagine, because I can feel the love coming out from you, that the thing that you adore about Bluebell is her quirks and the way that she acts when you come in the door and when you put her food down and when you sit on the sofa.
But it's that classic nature versus nurture debate. So some of her characteristics will be inherited, so that will just be in her DNA. Some of her characteristics will come from the environment that she's growing up in. So if she was growing up in the same environment that Bluebell grew up in, would her characteristics and things that she do be similar to Bluebell? Maybe not perfect, but I think they'd be a lot more similar than any other option which is currently out there, seeing as we sold all of Bluebell's kittens when she had a litter. So no, I think the best way that I could possibly have another Bluebell in my life would be to clone her, so I'd go for it.
The problem is, of course, it would be after you'd paid over your £40,000, so let's hope money is never no object for you, because they'd see people like you coming a mile off.
I think they have.
And it would be after you spent the £40,000 that you would find out that you'd got a hissing, spitting, not like Bluebell at all cat, and you'd paid £40,000 with it, and what they've given you is a cat and not the cat that you want.
But it would look like the cat.
Well, it might look a bit like it, but another cat would look a bit like it as well. And if you actually were an animal, and I understand, I mean, I'm making light of it in a way, but I do understand that people adore their pets. But if you had £40,000 to spend on animals, then maybe if you gave it to a refuge or saved some other animals, that would be kind of a good way to do it, right?
People do adore their pets, and they are part of the family, but you wouldn't clone your gran. You wouldn't clone a human.
But this is where it'll lead if we start saying yes to this sort of rubbish.
Well,
which is just a scam.
A very interesting debate to have. We're going to take a quick break. But your calls now on whether you would ever clone your pet. 0207 862 2222, and we'll speak to you in just a moment. Bernadette, you're up first from Derbyshire. Would you clone your pet?
No. He was a beautiful little boy. I lost him about 3 months ago. And he was so unique. He had a fantastic personality. He was ginger. He was wicked at the vets. He was a house angel. He was absolutely amazing. And I wanted him to go on forever and ever and ever. But I knew we couldn't.
Was it a dog or a cat or a...
It was a little cat, And he'd gone through an awful lot through his life. But to me, he was still... Mungo was very special. He was wicked. And he was a house angel. But I loved him bits, and I used to talk to him and say, I wish you could go forever and ever. It was something I could do. But no, I wouldn't do it. I've got my memories, but because he was so special and different from the others, I don't. It's going to take a very long time, if ever.
Bernadette, first of all,
another one.
Great name, patron saint of Glasgow, Mungo. But was Mungo wonderful because of his personality or because of his looks?
No, he was wonderful because of his personality. Oh, he was handsome as well. Don't get me that. He's brilliant.
What personality really?
His personality was. You know, I've never laughed so much at the vet, so I'm sorry, I shouldn't, you know, but he just went for everybody, but he was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And, you know, and I just wish I could have him back. And I've got his photographs, and the next thing I'm going to do is just have a tattoo, which I'm not, but cloning, he was special.
That is definitely one way to keep his memory alive forever. I'm sure you would never forget him with or without the tattoo. Mungo sounds like quite the character. Thank you very much for your call. I mean, anyone who has loved a pet, you'll never lose the thought of that pet. And it is a really, really special bond. But I wonder if anybody would go as far as to clone it. I mean, Barbara Streisand has, many people have, but in this country. Angela from Derby, would you clone your pet?
Definitely not, no. I don't know, it just seems rather bizarre to me. I find it a bit strange.
Angela, what's bizarre about it?
I just feel like, I mean, they're part of your family and you love them with all that you have, like a child or something. And so I just feel like you love them for their personality and who they are. And when they pass, it's heartbreaking. And you can, they're one in a million, aren't they? And unless obviously, like you say, for looks, that's one thing, like a top breed show pony or something, I can appreciate that. But my cat's nearly 21. I had a pony that was 27, and never in a million years would I want to clone them because nothing could ever replace their personalities. They're just amazing. And
does it feel like you're trying to sort of relive that existence that you had with your original pet a little bit, Albie? And actually, isn't that relationship so special because it can only happen once? It can only happen between those two individuals at that time for that period, and actually trying to recreate that somehow makes the original less special?
What if it could happen twice? Or what if it could happen 3 times?
It could. Get another cat.
Or I could just get the cat that I love and nurtured from a young age, from when she was a kitten, cloned, put her in those same conditions, and then hopefully get similar outcomes.
But you would never do it to a family member, so why would you do it with your pet?
But maybe, Albie, we haven't asked him that question.
I would not clone a family member.
That's really
No, he's discussing. He's got 2 sisters. He does not need any more.
As a bit older, I think I've got enough. I've got quite a big family. I love them all dearly, but I don't need double the amount. I would love to clone my cat Bluebell because I think the ethics are different.
Can I note a sound of caution, though? Because there is actually, scientifically, there is a high failure and mortality rate with this practice. And they can suffer physical ailments such as tumours, pneumonia and abnormal growth patterns. Now, if you love animals, why would you risk that when you're creating the new one?
Also,
I don't know why you do that.
It's the dogs that are surrogates for these cloned animals as well. I don't know where the ethics start with that. And I suppose that's why we don't allow it in this country, but you can now enlist the help of a company in this country so you don't have to...
But we did clone the first ever animal, Dolly the sheep, in Britain, so it's something that we've got form for.
And we do it regularly for science, I believe.
Yes.
So we'll do it for science, just not for love. Is that the right way to phrase that?